Bob's Big Beer Show continues now with plenty of hoppy beer talk.
Welcome back to the show, folks. It's Bob's Big Beer Show, 104.5 Bob FM. Remember, you can catch us streaming the show live every Saturday at 10 o'clock on 104.5bobfm.com, and also catch us on Facebook, Bob's Big Beer Show. On the phone with us now, Jeff joins us. Jeff Gill, correct, Jeff?
Yep.
From the Beer Club. And this came by way of Kristen, who ran into you guys. Can you kind of explain to me what the Beer Club is all about?
Yeah, no, we started no problem. We had a Facebook page started, a Facebook group started, about back in November. And what it's about is just celebrating all the Northern Michigan craft breweries up here. We haven't really seen a club or an organized event that celebrates all of them. You know, we've got a lot of them in Traverse City, a lot around the state of Michigan, and so we started that to kind of fill that gap.
All right. So, and when did you start all this?
Yeah. So back when, like I said, around November, we started adding members, and now we're just about at 200.
Really?
And yeah. So it could be a pretty big event. We do an event each month. Once a month we get together and just, share ideas and get together and try the craft beers at all these different breweries.
Okay, so when you get together, what happens and where do you go?
Yeah, so basically what we'll do is we'll post up on the page there where we're going, usually a couple weeks in advance, and where everybody can meet. And what we do is usually put a photo contest up. So you can win a free craft beer on the Beer Club. And if you guess it right, we'll get your name and we'll get you a free beer. But yeah, it's just simple. So, one of the things that my wife and I started, and the reason why we started, I think, really, was because we would go out to these craft breweries and enjoy this craft beer, but it would just be me and her.
Right.
So we started to say, what if we fill that gap there where we don't see anybody posting. There's apps, obviously about beer, craft beer, Untapped and a few other different ones, but, nothing really local, nothing really where your friends can see where you're at and maybe come join you for a beer. So that's kind of where it started from, All
right, let's talk a little bit about your beer background. What is your beer background?
Well, my beer background is mostly just drinking up here in Northern Michigan craft breweries, just exploring the different areas that we have, running up the shores, running here and there, and just, getting into the scene. It's kind of been such a growing aspect of our culture nowadays up here, in especially in the wintertime when there's not much to do.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of places to see. So, I'm friends with a lot of craft beer reps and salespeople, and so it was nice to be able to, kind of put something together that, kept everything going.
All right,
and
so
kept me interested in it.
When did you personally get into the craft beer scene? Because I talk about on the show every once in a while that maybe 9 years ago I started to make the transition from corporate beer to craft beer, and I swore at one point that I would never ever get into this fancy beer thing, but I have completely gone into it whole hog. So when did you start to get into it?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I started, my wife actually got me into it, and the original Right Brain Brewery location was where I first started drinking craft beer. I went in there and had some friends that were going there as well. And started with to this day, which is probably their most popular, is the CEO Stout.
Yep.
That was my first craft beer, and actually was eating with some food, and that was the way I drank craft beer, was always with food.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Right Brain back in the day, and I don't really want to trump anyone's story, but I was going to Right Brain before Right Brain was even open because I got my hair cut at Salon Saloon.
Yeah,
and they were serving beer. They were brewing beer, but they weren't open yet. So I've really been there from the very beginning.
Yeah, and that's funny. I have a similar story as Russell, the owner there. He actually cut my hair because I heard about the Salon Saloon. I seen the advertising. I didn't know he was the owner, and he cut my hair. And I had said, why are you in today? I said, well, I got a bad haircut. And he goes, at the end of my haircut, he goes, well, it's on me. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you shouldn't have to pay for 2 bad haircuts in 1 week. So and then I obviously, kind of went over to the other side there and started drinking, like I said, some of the craft brews, and kind of hooked me ever since. And then now with all the other breweries up here, that's why we started the beer club to help celebrate all of them.
So before that, what were you drinking?
I would say it was the Bud Lights, it was the Coors Light, and Miller Lights. It was just the light beers, your summer drinkers, your easy sippers while you're out building a deck type, beers. It's transitioned, pretty, like you said, wholeheartedly. I really haven't picked up one of those in a while.
All right, and so, but you credit the wife, the girlie, with the one who got you into it.
Yeah. So she was, one of the ones I think that seen the advertisement for Salon Saloon, said we should go check it out. And when I would go there, I would look probably for the lightest stuff,
Right.
And she would try some of the braver things, maybe it had raspberry in it. I think one of their originals was the Strawberry Fields, and trying things with a little bit. She had the fruitier beers, and I said, well, maybe I'd like some of the, that one says chocolate and coffee and all these different notes in it, and it did and I started sipping on it, and then after a while, you started going, oh, okay. And let me try this other one, and then you kind of pick up on the other notes that they say they have, and I think that's the funnest thing about craft beer is when we do get together is sitting there and talking about it and just reviewing the beer together and just enjoying it in that social aspect of that conversation, I guess, with what wine people would do, right?
Talking to Jeff Gill on the phone, he's running. Who runs the beer club? I mean, do you have a leader?
My wife and I call I call myself the CEO of the beer club, and she's the CFO, and of it. So she runs all the financials and keeps us able to go to these events and be able to afford to hang out and promote things and stuff like that.
And when I started at drinking craft beer, I started noticing that, well, wait a minute, if I spend this amount of money and I can get that amount of ABV, I did the math a little bit. I'm like, oh, well, this makes more sense, doesn't it? And the beer is actually better. And then I went on to Right Brain and started drinking that. And so I was like, wait a minute. But it took me a while to kind of get on to the different types, like the Ancho Chili or the Mongolista Pig Porter and different things like that. I mean, that was a little bit of a transition, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing I love about the breweries up here is you can go in and get sample pours. You can get, 6, 7, 8 ounce, whatever pours, you can get just a flight and just try things and find out what you like. Not everybody says, oh, I don't like craft beer. Well, give it a try. Get one of those flights, find something maybe you do like, and, go back again and try something else as they, obviously are rotating their stuff and trying new things all the time. So, and, obviously with newer, the other new brewery, not new now, but it was Rare Bird, you could bring your friends down and you can, still have, they can have their bourbon or liquor drinks and stuff like that. And, you can have your craft beer and you pair it with some food, and that's one thing cool about some of these tap houses is not every one of them has just craft beer.
So where do you guys meet? Where are some of the different areas that you guys have gone to, different breweries?
Yeah, well, our first one was at Right Brain. One of our great beer reps down there, Philip John Davey, helped us out with that and hooked us up with a great event down there. Then we moved over to the Workshop the next month. The Workshop Brewery downtown in the old Right Brain location. That one was great down there, talking to Pete and Victoria down there. And then going, I think we just did one at Rare Bird. So, Tina and them, we got that situated down there. So now our next event has yet to be determined, but we're going to put it up for the middle of next month. So.
All right. So is there any sort of initiation or hazing or anything like that?
No, it's like we say on the title of the beer club there, it's just to meet with friends and make new ones, so it really is that that culture and to celebrate all the different ones and maybe get together and do some of the bigger events like this weekend they got the Winter Beer Fest in Grand Rapids, so if anybody wants to post on there, it's all open to everybody, even to advertisers, for the different breweries. They want to advertise their events, and that way you have one spot to go to. You can look it up on Facebook. I don't have to jump around to every single Facebook page or web page of all the breweries. You can go to one spot and just look up the events and kind of know what's going on.
Jeff Gill on the phone with us. We're talking to him. He runs the Beer Club on Facebook. What do you gravitate to? What is your go-to beer?
Right now, obviously during the wintertime, I enjoy my stouts, just sipping on a stout, keeps you, warm and cozy and energized with the coffee and the chocolate feels in there. But that's normally what I gravitate to. And then anything, the ESBs, the actual special bitters there.
Yes.
Those are my favorite too.
Yeah, the ESB at Right Brain I enjoy. I'm very much an IPA rut drinker, though. I started off with the CEOs, and I'd like browns and porters, but I really went back to the IPAs and just kind of, I go Spinal Tapper or something along the lines. Matter of fact, I just had a Torpedo from Sierra Nevada the other day, and I really enjoy that beer. Yeah, no, and exactly. The IPAs are just fun, to try the new IPAs, find out what you like on the IPA aspect. Beer Camp, I think one of the biggest posts we got on the Beer Club is the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp, the tropical IPA. I tell you what, down the road, I'd like to bring the camera out from the show, and we'll sit down with a bunch of you beer people, and we'll talk beer. Are you a beer geek? Are you a beer snob? Where are you on the spectrum?
I do consider, I guess, myself, I don't like to put labels on it, I guess, but at the same time, I can't help but saying I'm a beer geek because I'm a geek in real life. So, I do geek out on certain things.
Yeah, you do geek out on beer, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things that if I had to put a term on there, I would call myself definitely a beer geek.
All right, kids, go look for the Beer Club on Facebook. That's where we found them. And, Jeff, thank you very much for being part of the show.
Yeah, no problem.
You're listening to the first local over-the-air beer show in northern Michigan, Bob's Big Beer Show on 104.5 Bob FM and streaming live at 1045bobfm.com. I think I should sit down now. In case you don't like that, here it is a little more straight. You're listening to the first local over-the-air beer show in northern Michigan, Bob's Big Beer Show on 104.5 Bob FM and streaming live at 1045bobfm.com.